Good evening, everybody. It is still Tuesday, April 11th. We've been here all day. This is the second of 4 public hearings on the FY24 capital budget, amendments to the FY23 to 28 capital improvements program, and the FY24 operating budget. The council and the committees will conduct our work sessions on the budget beginning this Friday, April 14th, so your testimony today is going to help guide us and inform us as we move forward with this $6.8 billion budget as proposed by the county executive. The full council will begin deliberations, taking into account the committees, and that work will begin on May 8th. And so I share those dates because we have a few more weeks to go, but this is just the start of the process by having us listen to you and hear the thoughts of you and other members of the community. And with that, we have 49 speakers who are prepared to join us in person and virtually this evening. So I'm going to call the first 5 down to begin tonight's testimony. Michael Brittenall, Lori Ulrich, Alberto Baca, Allison Gillespie, and Jennifer Freeman. And Mr. Brittenall, we'll start with you.
Thank you very much. Chair President, Council President Glass, and council members, thank you for having us. And I'm Michael Brittenall. I'm Chair of the Board of Trustees at Montgomery College, and I'm honored to kick off the evening. It may seem like Groundhog Day to you, but it isn't. For us, it's all a fresh moment. I'm here with Dr. Williams, who's with me, along with Montgomery College faculty and employees and students. We want to thank you for your sustained support for Montgomery College and its mission. Our operating budget request this year for 24 is a maintenance of effort budget request. The budget's a foundation this year for continued success, and its approval helps to ensure additional state aid for Montgomery College for next year. Along with a fiscally conservative approach, the Board of Trustees wanted to advance 3 crucial priorities that are supported by this budget. One of them is to keep tuition affordable. Yes, there is a tuition increase in this budget, but it's a very small one. It's under 2%, and it's the first that we've introduced in 3 years. The second is providing fair and prudent pay raises for faculty and staff. Our faculty are deeply dedicated to student success. In fact, they're the foundation for success and for our academic excellence. The pay raises in the budget are fair and deserved and fiscally sensible, as we have always consistently tried to do. Third priority is moving forward with the East County Education Center. This renovation at Broad Birch Drive in Silver Spring prepares nurses, cyber techs, entrepreneurs for the East County region, and this is happening fast, as you know. And it's already anchoring further progress in the region, which is one of our goals for it. Partners from WorkSource Montgomery, for example, will join us at the facility where we can align their efforts with ours. I would like to make one note about the capital budget and ask you please to reject the additional reduction of $2.9 million. I know you have challenging choices. You have a room full of challenging choices. I appreciate that. But we had already agreed to a $6 million reduction in the CIP, and this additional cut threatens quality facilities that matter for students, facilities like the Germantown Student Services Center and library. So our operating budget request is a maintenance of effort level. It's fiscally prudent, yet it advances critical priorities. And with its approval, we can continue to deliver on the shared mission. It's to change lives. It's to prepare the talent needed to bolster the economy and to enrich the life of our community. So thank you for your support, and we value the privilege to be able to work with you on moving this mission forward. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brittenall. Next, Ms. Ulrich.
Good evening, County Council members. My name is Lori Ulrich. I am the president of AFSCME Local 2380, the staff union at Montgomery College. We continue to be exceptional partners with the county. We are conscientious stewards with county funds, conservatively asked and graciously allocated to operate so that we can change thousands of Montgomery County student residents' lives. We provide services to one of the most diverse community colleges and populations in the country in multiple modalities simultaneously. Some people might think that Montgomery College is just a 2-year institution, a place to fulfill gen ed requirements before transferring to a 4-year institution, but we are so much more than that. We are an open enrollment community college. We accept everyone who applies, regardless of what neighborhood they come from, what school they attended, or how they performed in it. And we meet them where they are. We serve those in need of developmental coursework, as well as academic rock stars. We provide mentoring, coaching, career acquisition services. We assist non-traditional students with career changes, job skill development, or re-entry into the world of academics when their paths may have bypassed it the first time. My father was hired to coordinate the fire science program at MC and ended up teaching English in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. I was a student for a very long time and worked as a student aide with tutoring students with learning disabilities. 13 years later, I was hired back by MC to supervise that same program. It's kind of coming full circle, having a homecoming, and I have been there ever since. That's my story. But I'll bet that everybody in this room has their own story, or their family stories, or their friends' stories about Montgomery College classes, programs, and activities. It's that kind of institution with a rich history and a deep reach into the lives of Montgomery County residents. The members of AFSCME Local 2380 strongly hope that the County Council remembers the fiscal stewardship partnerships with Montgomery College. Most of our hard-working bargaining members work behind the scenes, keeping facilities clean and good working order, providing student support services, financial aid, and office support, undergirding an exceptional infrastructure to support student success. We are asking you to recognize our fiscal prudence and conservative budget requests by fully funding the college's fiscal year 24 budget, and please also to reject the county executive's additional $2.9 million reduction to the MC capital budget. Thank you for the time this evening.
Thank you very much. Mr. Baca.
Good evening. I'm Tito Baca. I'm the president of the AUP Chapter for full-time faculty at the college. It's a privilege to be here tonight to talk with you and to represent those faculty at the college. Over the past year, the chapter has taken on an advocacy and advisory role across the state to help guide our colleagues at 4-year and 2-year institutions in their efforts to organize. We've testified at state house hearings, budget hearings at the Senate, and advised faculty labor groups at 12 different institutions across Maryland. We feel that this work has not only highlighted our role as a chapter, but also brought great recognition to the work being done at Montgomery College. That's because one theme we continue to share at every opportunity is how proud we are of our role in collaborations with Dr. Williams and his management team to advance the college forward and our role in supporting students. It's undeniable that our commitment from faculty is an indelible thread that continues to sustain the college, and one not look any further than what was done over the past 2 years when we had a health pandemic and an uncertain economy, which would have really wrecked weaker institutions. But full-time faculty retrained. They redesigned their courses to engage students where they were and now work tirelessly to rebuild these programs that suffered due to enrollment declines. Still, this isn't really exactly news. Faculty have been stepping up and doing critical work to support police, fire, teachers, healthcare providers, IT techs, and various other employees of the future for a long time. What you might not know is to the extent of what faculty do to go beyond what they're called to do to support the mission of the college and our students on a personal level. Buy bus fare, pay for an Uber for a student who can't get home, groceries for that student who hasn't eaten in a couple days, call protective services when a student is in harm's way, write that last-minute recommendation letter at 2 o'clock in the morning when that student really needs it to get into that 4-year institution. They go above and beyond every day, and we may not hear those stories, but they're real. Our students are our future lifeline, so of course it behooves us all to take this kind of great care for them. One day they'll be taking care of us. And they'll remember those lessons we taught them, as well as what they learned watching how we guided and supported them. So we graciously ask you to please support the college's budget request and reject any reduction from the county executive to the MC capital budget. In doing so, you're advocating for the college, our faculty, but especially for our students, whose time is coming closer than we may think. We appreciate your time and service. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Next, Ms. Gillespie.
Good evening. I'm here tonight to ask the council to please fully fund Montgomery Parks for the full requested level as requested by the Director of Parks. I sit here before you as an eager advocate for our fantastic award-winning park system. I use the trails daily. They are my gym, my cathedral, my social hub, my extended backyard. I meet friends, clear my mind, gain sanity, and bathe in the beauty of the spaces. I ride my mountain bike on the incredible trails, talk things over with family members as we walk the Sligo, celebrate with friends at events like Acoustics and Ales in downtown Silver Spring. I have hiked in the former footsteps of the great environmentalist Rachel Carson and wondered with my children at the history of former slaves making their way along the Underground Railroad near Sandy Spring. Truly, we have much to be grateful for in our parks and their wonderful offerings, but I do not see that gratitude reflected in this budget. In looking over the numbers, it seems that the Parks Department was selected for individually bad treatment in the budget this year, and I believe this is playing politics with one of our county's best and most important resources. Again and again, when polled on the question of what makes a great neighborhood, people include parks in their descriptions. And specifically, I know there was a famous survey done in 2021 that demonstrated overwhelmingly Montgomery County residents, when asked, ranked parks at the top of the list, along with low crime and great public schools, about what makes this a great place to live. As you go through the numbers and make tough decisions, I urge you to think of the inequity of that decision. It will hit those who have the least very, very hard. It is my observation that in many of our neighbors, in Wheaton, for example, rely on Wheaton Regional Park and other smaller neighborhood playground parks to be their main source of open space. Those living in apartments use parks for birthday parties and barbecues and find respite from a long week by fishing under the big shade trees at Pine Lake. They also rely on baseball fields and soccer fields in ways that those with more money and more expensive options do not. I feel happiest in the woods, and I'm frankly to live in an urban area with access to parkland. I love that I don't have to drive too far to enjoy some green space, even though I live 1 block away from Georgia Avenue near the Beltway. Urban parks make density in neighborhoods like mine doable and livable, and we need more people living in my area, near transit, near existing roads and infrastructure, if we are to really take on Thrive 2050. Good parkland demands investment. Please discard the petty politics. Fund parks to the fullest extent possible so that we can all enjoy living here to the fullest extent possible. Thanks for your time and attention, and thanks for being leaders who listen.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gillespie. And last on this panel, Ms. Freeman.
Thank you for having the time for this discussion tonight. I want to start by saying how grateful I am to have had the opportunity to talk with many of you specifically about Community Farm Share's Food is Medicine work, and particularly the value of produce prescriptions and integrating the healthcare prevention and treatment strategy into already existing structures and services in the county to improve the health of our most vulnerable residents. This fiscal year, Community Farm Share requested funds to support 250 diabetic and pre-diabetic patients and their families, reaching about 1,000 residents to help address diet-related chronic disease. Our proposed program has two components of the model. We would work with school-based health and wellness centers to where primary care staff can address childhood risk of diet-related chronic disease through produce prescriptions, and also by supporting linking community safety net clinics together with community health-based organizations such as food hubs, and provide the fresh produce linking again with healthcare support. Our proposed program would address many of the county's priorities, including strategy to end childhood hunger, nutrition access, healthcare, climate change goals, and building a stronger local food system by supporting our local farmers. The needs are great. I had a whole list of them. The health needs, nutrition access needs, climate change issues, and we're familiar with those. I also want to bring up the the needs of the farmers or local farming community as well. Local farmers, small scale, need a reliable sales channel where they have otherwise difficulty in accessing where to sell their produce to. We are contract purchasing with our local farmers throughout the Ag Reserve to support those funding needs, and they lack agricultural markets such as, including aggregation hubs, and we're starting our aggregation hub in the county this year as well to support that need. I also wanted to say it's important that we this is a program that will be continuing programming from last year, in a sense that we're grateful for the funding that we did get for our farm to school program, so very, very thankful for that. And so now the proposed funding for this year would bump that up, including the healthcare component of the work that we're doing. If the full funding that we requested can't be funded, and basically we'd like to continue the program with any amount that could be to support that need for both continuing health care, basically integrating our food as medicine program into health needs. I also want to mention a sustainability model because the program touches on so many key areas of funding, so food equity, local food systems, farming, health, climate change, the current priorities on many levels, so local, state, federal levels, is strong in enabling us to potentially bring in additional funding into the county to support these needs. And I just also want to have a shout out to our partners that we've been working with so far. It's been just such an honor to work with our community-based organizations, with other community clinics that we've worked with so far, and of course our farmers that are growing the food for all of us to eat and to strengthen that food system. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for that testimony. I appreciate all of you joining us this evening. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to invite Patricia Rios, Brian DeChico, Louis Askew, Jacqueline Guevara, and Deborah Kimmel. Okay. We'll begin with Ms. Rios.
Good evening.
Turn on your microphone. There you go.
All right, perfect. Good evening. My name is Patricia Rios, and I serve as co-chair for the Latino Health Steering Committee of Montgomery County, an independent group of volunteer professionals and community leaders who contribute time and effort to advocate for policies and practices that will improve the health status of Latinos in Montgomery County. The Latino Health Steering Committee supports the county executive proposed budget for the Latino Health Initiative, which includes funds to expand mental health resources for Latino youth and families, expand health promoters outreach, and convert Latino Health Initiative contract positions to county merit positions. We also support efforts to improve the county's response to county newcomers, bullying, and healthcare for all. Over the past few months, the Latino Health Steering Committee has dedicated time to meet with the county executive, county council members, the Board of Education, and staff from the Department of Health and Human Services and Montgomery County Public School System. From these conversations, we have learned that bullying is becoming normalized in schools. The incidence rates reported by MCPS are unreliable due to the lack of reporting and monitoring. Parents do not know how or to whom to report. The required forms and instructions are written at too high a reading level and are often hard to access. Some principals are applying their own definitions of bullying, and there's fear by parents and students of retaliation. Overall, this informs that there is a systematic problem affecting the mental health of Latino youth and their families. So our county needs a holistic and robust approach to address the mental health crisis, particularly as it relates to substance abuse, bullying, and violence in our schools. For example, policies are needed to restrict access to drug and alcohol use with sensible sanctions for policy violations that entail behavioral health screening and interventions, and widespread screening for behavioral health issues in schools and primary care offices. Reporting forms and instructions should be written in plain language. Forums, videos, and parent coordinators are needed to support reporting. And current anti-bullying pilots need to be reevaluated. As of July 1st, 2022, state and local agencies are required by state law to use plain language in public communications about health, safety, and social services. So today, the Latino Health Steering Committee urges the County Council to use its power to galvanize improved response from MCPS and work with other stakeholders to put in place critical changes in our current system of care to address the mental and behavioral health crisis facing our community. I thank you for your time, leadership, and support.
Thank you, Ms. Rios. Mr. DeChico, Brian DeChico. Okay, we'll move on to Mr. Askew.
Thank you.
Turn on the microphone. There you go.
Thank you, Council President Glass and all council members for this opportunity to speak with you this evening. My name is Louis Askew. I'm president of the Board of Trustees for the National Center for Children and Families. NCCF is a comprehensive regional child and family serving nonprofit with an administrative campus in Bethesda, Maryland. The agency is over 100 years old and has a long-standing relationship with Montgomery County as a provider of critical facilities and essential services for this community. This evening, I would like to specifically address funding for the Black Physicians and Healthcare Network, BPHN, sponsored by NCCF. The partnership originated with the Montgomery County Council in 2020 as an urgent response to the deadly COVID crisis in the county's Black community. The current program model emerged out of a desire to address the disparity for COVID mortality rates among Black and African diaspora residents in the county and reflects NCCF's vision of a community that addresses the needs of its citizens. BPHN has inspired and supported the Black diaspora across the African American, African, and Caribbean communities where there are real and quantifiable healthcare gaps. This program has brought the Black community in this county together. Over 100 outreach partners and supporters believe in this initiative and are equally committed to partner with Montgomery County Department of Health and Human Services to sustain this model initiative, as do I and my fellow board members at NCCF. It is well documented that Black people mistrust the American healthcare system. Some argue that racism is mainly to blame for the problems that Black people face when they visit the doctor. The documentary, The Deadliest Disease in America, argues that Black people avoid medical treatment because they are treated or spoken to without respect. A 2021 UCLA study shows that the percentage of Black physicians in the United States is 5.4%, a rise of only 4 percentage points over the last 120 years. The BPHN model directly addresses this and the need for Black individuals to access culturally competent health care directly and effectively to save lives. Yet, as a board member and as a board, we cannot allow NCCF to sustain financial losses of more than $400,000 and incalculable reputational damage. The county's justification for altering the model is at its heart an equity issue. We have heard DHHS claims that the federal funding for COVID has run out, and the county executive claims that there is no need for parallel systems because Montgomery County's clinical system will be undergoing improvements.
Mr. Askew?
Yes.
If you can wrap it up.
I'll do that. So in essence, Council, NCCF cannot afford to definitely bear the brunt of the cost of a very important program, and we hope that you find the funding necessary to keep it going. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And next up, Ms. Guevara.
Buenas noches, miembros del Consejo, y gracias por esta oportunidad. Mi nombre es Jacqueline Guevara y vivo en Rugby. Cuando llegué a Estados Unidos, mi hija tenía 11 años y no hablaba inglés. Tuvimos que adaptarnos al nuevo sistema de educación y en el proceso enfrentamos varios desafíos. Uno de estos fue el programa ISO, que inicialmente la ayudó a insertarse al sistema educativo, pero que también la perjudicó, debido a que le asignaron clases de matemáticas muy debajo de su nivel solamente por estar en este programa. Esto hizo que me mantuviera alerta y empiece a abogar por mi hija para que ella pudiera acceder a una educación de calidad, la cual le permita continuar sus estudios universitarios, que es la meta de todo padre de familia y estudiante.
Good evening, council members. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Jacqueline Guevara, and I live in Rockville. When I arrived in the United States, my daughter was 11 years old and did not speak English. We had to adapt to the new education system, and in that process, we faced several challenges. One of these was the ESOL program that initially helped her integrate into the education system, but that also harmed her because she was assigned to low-level mathematics course just because she was part of the ESOL program. This made me stay alert and start advocating for my daughter so that she could access a quality education and be prepared to continue her university studies, which is the goal of every parent and student.
En base a esta experiencia y habiendo visto estudiantes hispanos estancados en clases de nivel más bajo que el regular, estudiantes que no tienen el nivel de inglés ni de matemáticas requeridos para ingresar a la universidad, y estudiantes rezagados en comparación con otros estudiantes.
Based on this experience and having observed Hispanic students being stuck in low-level courses, students who do not have the required English and mathematics level to enter college, and ESOL students falling behind compared to other students.
Solicito a ustedes fondos para un programa después de colegio enfocado en los estudiantes de ESOL. Este programa tendría como objetivo mejorar el rendimiento académico y cerrar las brechas de oportunidad de acceso a una educación de calidad. Daría la oportunidad a los estudiantes de estar menos tiempo en ESOL y les permitiría acceder a clases regulares de Honor y AP clases. De esta manera, tendríamos estudiantes mejor preparados, motivados, competitivos y listos para las universidades.
I request funds for an after-school program for ESOL students. This program will have as a goal to improve academic performance and close the gaps in opportunities for access to quality education. It would give students the opportunity to spend less time at ESOL, allowing them to access regular, honor, and AP classes. In this way, we would have students better prepared, motivated, competitive, and ready to access universities.
Este programa podría lograr el éxito de los estudiantes de ESOL y eliminaría las barreras que actualmente enfrentan. Un programa después de colegio elevaría los niveles de educación en este grupo de estudiantes, que en su mayoría son hispanos y de bajos recursos económicos.
This program could achieve success for ESOL students and remove the barriers they currently face. An after-school program would elevate the level of education in this group of students who are mostly Hispanic and low income.
Según USA Today, para el 2030 los estudiantes hispanos en Estados Unidos van a ser aproximadamente 14 millones. Y según datos de Pew Research Center, en el 2021, solo el 23% de los hispanos lograron un título universitario, siendo el porcentaje más bajo con referencia a los otros estudiantes.
According to USA Today, by 2030, Hispanic students in the United States will number approximately 14 million, and according to data from the Pew Research Center in 2021, only 23% of Hispanics achieved a college degree. This is the lowest percentage with reference to the other ethnicities of students.
En conclusión, el objetivo de un programa después de colegio para estudiantes de ESOL es preparar con éxito a los estudiantes para que tengan la oportunidad de graduarse de la universidad.
In conclusion, the goal of an after-school program for ESOL students is to successfully prepare students so they have the opportunity to graduate from college. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And last on this panel, Ms. Kimmel.
Hi, I'm Deborah Kimmel, and I'm asking you for your support for a low-income spay-neuter clinic in the proposed budget. Montgomery County has a pet overpopulation problem, particularly in our underserved communities. Our Animal Control Code itself cites a 2019 task force report that Maryland state shelters took in and ultimately euthanized 45,000 dogs and cats at a taxpayer cost of $8 to $9 million that year. Those numbers still shock me. Lack of affordable spay and neuter results in a lot of unwanted kittens and puppies, cats and dogs, pets abandoned and turned into the shelter, which is a shame because pet ownership is good public health for the physical, mental, and emotional well-being of all our residents. Spay-neuter is humane, it is cost efficient, and would you ever be surprised how fast you could neuter a cat? Wow. Our laws mandate that the county maintain one or more affordable spay-neuter clinics. This is $150. If you're a family struggling to make ends meet, it buys groceries. Or you can spay the family cat. Guess which doesn't get done? And if you have a dog, at the reduced fee clinic in our county, $275 spays your under 30-pound Chihuahua, $350 for your under 50-pound Shepherd mix, and $395 for your 50-pound Lab. If your dog weighs more than 70 pounds, well, you're out of luck because he won't be accepted at all. Today, a patchwork of volunteers drives carloads of cats to clinics in other counties for spay-neuter. To spay spa in Anne Arundel, spay now in Prince George's, Green Acres in Carroll County, Last Chance in Charles County. It's crazy, and it's incredibly inefficient. Our spay-neuter clinic proposal in the budget leverages a free, surgically equipped mobile unit from a Connecticut nonprofit organization. This is the cheapest spay-neuter clinic we will ever get in this county. And it's real. I brought photos for you. From the beginning, we have collaborated with the Office of Animal Services on this clinic, which will operate as part of their division. Our clinic initiative is fully supported by Executive Tom Koenig. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kimmel. It is also National Pet Day, so you've sent your message on the right day. Well received. Thank you all for your testimony this evening. Next, I would like to call down Mr. Jeter, Leticia Mitchell, Avi Silber, Jasmine White, and Aaron Krause. Okay, Mr. Jeter.
Thank you for your time this evening. My name is Dustin Jeter, and I'm a 17-year veteran teacher at MCPS. I'm also a Montgomery County native resident and a former student member of the Montgomery County Board of Education. And I'm here today to urge you to vote in favor of the 10-cent revenue adjustment to more adequately fund our MCPS budget. The educators at MCPS are working tirelessly to educate all of our young people. We've been asked to teach more students with less resources and more outside demands than ever before. My colleagues and I show up every day for our kids, being their teacher, mentor, social worker, and so much more. The per pupil spending in MCPS was higher when some of you might have been students, and you certainly don't think that the students now deserve less than what they got when you might have been MCPS, I would hope. The challenge, make no mistake, is not that we were asked to provide all these additional resources. The challenge is that we were asked to provide them without the necessary support, time, and compensation. We as a community have had asked so much from our current educators that it has become unappealing for future generations to want to pursue this career. From October 2021 to May 2022, not counting retirees, 269 educators left MCPS. And from October 2022 to now, we have already had 215 educators leave MCPS, with a total of 662 that have left in the last 2.5 years. They've gone elsewhere or left the profession altogether, and their positions, many of them, remain unfilled. Without solid plans to recruit new educators and retain our current educators, we will not be able to properly staff our school system. We'll continue to see rising class sizes, more educators losing out on their planning time in order to provide emergency coverage due to the lack of substitutes, and further disgruntled workforce that cannot provide all their needs for their students. Something else has to change, and we would hope that we can bring some ideas to the table. My colleagues and I have offered many creative ideas to help students get what they need. We propose to eliminate the self-imposed MCPS salary cap for experienced educators new to MCPS that allows them to be credited and paid for up to only 8 years of experience, no matter how many years they're bringing to the system. We propose adding more art, music, and PE, technology, and health classes to elementary school students to give our elementary school teachers more time to plan and provide for their students. We provided our proposal to give paraeducators credit for their service to MCPS when they become educators within our system, and it's one of the best grow-your-own policies we could have in our system today. We've asked for all of this, including changing our salary scale to meet the new requirements of the Blueprint Law in order to more effectively create competitive salaries for our educators here in Montgomery County so that educators can be able to afford to live in the neighborhoods that they're working in. We asked for a lot of these things, but we've been told no. We've been told no because there's just not enough money to do all of these things. We're disappointed by these no's because as a post-COVID teacher, it's difficult to be praised for your hard work and then vilified later on in the next breath because we're asking for our sacrifices to be realized. Wages for MCPS educators have not kept up with inflation, not to mention that even as a coach and a club sponsor, I still make minimum wage for those jobs. All we're asking for is that we would set the level of our funding in order to meet the needs of our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jeter. Ms. Mitchell.
Good evening. My name is Leticia Mitchell, and I'm currently a staff development teacher at Steadwick Elementary in Montgomery Village, Maryland. The work of a teacher is done with heart, grit, soul, data analysis, and constant scrutiny. We are judged by the public, by each other, and by coaches and administrators. We live in dread of a negative review and know that our very livelihood and career trajectories are tied up in how much a single individual views our work in an isolated setting. But we persevere. We show up every day, sometimes sick, in the midst of grieving a parent or a partner, after breakups and divorces, battling our own demons and mental health issues. We show up. We show up, and now we need the county council to show up for us in our communities. We need you to show up for students. We need you to show up for families. And we need you to show up to begin the work of building a school system equipped to bring a long overdue end to white supremacy culture, male patriarchy, and classism. Even as I wrote those words, I had to laugh at myself. Why would the county council do anything differently? If they have children in Montgomery County schools, they live in the right neighborhoods and can easily afford private school for their children or grandchildren. Maybe we should all give up on trying to give the gift of an equitable education to every student in MCPS. The fight has been lost to better people than me time and time again. Why in the world would this county council that I have testified before listen now? I admit, a few tears escape my eyes thinking these thoughts. But as soon as I think about conceding this fight and throwing in the towel, my thoughts rush to Dolores Huerta, Malala Yousafzai, Krista McAuliffe, Angela Lee Duckworth, Zitkala Shah, and Rita Pearson. These women persevered in the name of education. In honor of the legacies that they are creating and their memory, I'm here before you now. But I have questions. How long will you continue to underfund our system and fail to meet the needs of Black and brown students? Which students matter the most in a system built to favor students with economic privilege? What value can you possibly have for teachers in the system that is designed for staff burnout in 7 years or less? When is the best time to address the mental health and behavioral needs of our post-COVID student body? As a tax-paying citizen of Montgomery County, I demand better for my daughter, who is a middle schooler just past the midway of her academic career in MCPS. I demand better for the students with parents that are at work right now, trying to make enough to keep their children clothed and fed. I demand better for the thousands of teachers that make up MCEA, so many of whom are disillusioned, disregarded, and disrespected on a daily basis. I demand better because at the center of thriving communities are thriving schools. Right now, teachers are not thriving in MCPS. We're barely surviving. Our students deserve more. The choice is yours. I leave you with a few more questions. Which side of history do you want to be on in the wake of the change that is coming? The one that provided resources for students to thrive, or the one that failed to do so? I know which side I am on, and I vote in every election, and so do all of my union brethren. Join us in building a better school system. Our children cannot wait any longer.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Mr. Silber. There you go.
Esteemed members of the County Council and present community members. My name is Avi Silber. I'm a Rockville resident and I teach molecular biotechnology, honors chemistry, and music technology at Northwest High School. These are 3 of the 11 courses I've taught over the last 11 years. I also sponsor the Secret Society of Science Songwriters, an award-winning club where I work with students to make music videos to educate their peers and communities, and Councilmember Mink might remember where we performed at a rally with her a few years ago. And I coordinate the Academy of Biotechnology, a program that provides students a pathway and pipeline to career in biotech. And Mr. Friedson, I'm looking forward to talking with you more about that. I am speaking in support of the 10-cent property tax increase in order to fully fund the MCPS budget. First and foremost, I do want to say it's disingenuous to support a 12 to 15% rent hikes and somehow scoff at a 10-cent property tax increase. Our county has by far the lowest property tax rate of any in the region and will still have the lowest property tax rate of any in the region once this is passed. 43% of educators already live outside the county, 60% of law enforcement do as well, and many of us cannot afford the median house income price. Who do you want here, council members? As you've doubtless heard from my colleagues and allies this week, our community is in a state of disrepair. Don't be misled by the fact that we have wonderful programs like mine and passionate educators like those here, school support personnel, psychologists, and counselors, and many more. We are in a position now where we struggle to recruit new staff, and we're losing staff members to surrounding districts where they can find a more reasonable cost of living and better pay. Meanwhile, developers get to receive all sorts of incentives to continue to build and build in our county, and we're hearing year after year that we need to tighten our belts. If those developments include apartments and condos filled by families with children, we will need more staff and resources to educate those children. Who do you want here, council members? It should be all of us. I can tell you that my classroom, I had to update this since writing it, was 84, not 82 degrees today. In fact, it has been between 77 and 84 degrees every day since I started teaching 11 years ago. I've been through 8 head building service technicians, and each time I'm told that there is a work order in place to fix the problem. But I can't help but think I'm getting a runaround because the problem is too expensive and they're being told that they need to cut costs. Now, I have heard some talk on forums that there needs to be some compromise, that this 10-cent tax rate increase is too costly, and I have to tell you that this is the compromise. We really need a 30-cent per $100 increase to be comparable spending on our school system to nearby counties. I have seen the numbers from different staff constituencies within the school system, and I can tell you that things are dire. If we're not able to fund the budget, the exodus from certain positions in our system will only worsen. I can say that I'm in a good position. I'm not going anywhere. But for murmurs in the hallway, I cannot say the same for my colleagues. Fund them what they asked for this year, and fund them more next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Silber. Ms. White.
Good evening, Council, President Glass, and Council members. I am honored to speak to you today as the CEO of Montgomery Community Media, the organization that sparked my passion for connecting people through media over 15 years ago. MCM is Montgomery County's nonprofit public access organization that provides media education and equipment to residents, businesses, and nonprofits while distributing reliable Montgomery County news every single day. We manage 3 public access cable channels and multiple social media platforms, creating opportunities for content producers, students, artists, and Montgomery County's future journalism and media workforce. Last year, we reopened our renovated offices and studios in Rockville, welcoming back our dedicated volunteers to produce programs in person. Our Silver Spring Media Lab and podcast studio is thriving as we provide learning opportunities for senior citizens and SSL hours for high schoolers to lead that training. At MCM's Party with a Purpose, we honored servant leaders of Montgomery County and raised money to provide training for low to moderate income families. And during an extremely challenging time in our country and county, our small but mighty team managed to win 6 Emmys for our Spanish language programming and the prestigious Community Service Award for a grand total of 7 Emmys. While we are extremely proud of our successes, we will not rest on our laurels. Now more than ever, we are hyper-focused on the future and sustainability of MCM. As cable revenues decline, we must be creative and experimental in our funding approach because we have more work to do. As the landscape of media continues to rapidly change, MCM will continue to pivot and rise to the occasion, seeking partnerships to produce programming like our local election coverage and social issue-oriented content like our programming addressing the current fentanyl crisis. We are committed to deepening our understanding of the critical issues of the county while we manage our public platforms. Our entire leadership team and staff continues to undergo required training in diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, LGBTQ+ matters, unconscious bias, microaggressions, and cultural competency to make sure we are educated and prepared to serve the public. MCM is proud of the role we play in this community as a reliable source for news, locally created content, and training the future journalists of Montgomery County. Our work is important because our community is important. We deeply appreciate your continued support of MCM's mission and your commitment to ensuring this amazing, diverse community continues to have a voice. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. White. And final individual on this panel, Mr. Krause.
Thank you, Council. My name is Aaron Krause, a Rockville resident. I don't represent anybody. I felt motivated to come tonight as a MoCo 360 reader and kind of seeing what's going on. I'm kind of concerned about the long-term stability of the tax base. Montgomery County is one of the slowest growing counties, major counties in the United States over the last couple of years. And I'm concerned that the long-standing ability for us to fund very important programs is at risk for roughly a 10% property tax hike, which is what we're talking about. And apples to apples, that would put our tax burden, when you consider our income tax and other taxes, higher than Northern Virginia and some other jurisdictions around us. And what I'm concerned about is, you know, there are those in our county government that want to increase property taxes this drastic rate. There are those that want to increase recordation taxes. There are those that want to lift the statute and raise income taxes. It's almost like, you know, when you're a hammer, everything's a nail. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of creativity or sophistication in how we're going to meet these important needs that we all know exist. Obviously, there will have to have some revenue enhancements, some tax increases, and hopefully some reprogramming of resources to the priorities that we have. There are hard choices that this council has to make. What are they, and how are we going to fill those priorities? What does the public really want? Well, we know what the public wants. In 2020, in a very high turnout election, there was a charter amendment. And the public, in a ratio of 2-to-1, a blowout, said, we do not want any tax increases without a unanimous vote by the council. Well, it looks like there's going to be a circumvention of the public will, and through a loophole through state statute, that there will be a tax increase. But the question is, how are we going to remain competitive and have a tax base that funds all these important things for the years to go on? There's a lot of focus on the numerator of the tax, and what about the denominator of our economic development? That's my concern, is we're slow growing, we're funding these important things, but through what mechanism are we going to be able to do that in 2025, in 2027, in 2028? We know what the public wants. The public doesn't show up at things like this. The public is busy. The public probably doesn't even know that this is even happening. And these are real numbers. Again, every single tax that's being discussed here is something that is being advocated by some of you and the county executive. And this is really serious because we're going to hollow out the economic machinery that supports all of these important programs. And I hope the council takes that under consideration. There are many needs, but at the same time, we cannot push away the economic development and revenue production that is essential. And all of this is predicated on that economic activity. And I'm concerned about losing it to Prince George's County, to Northern Virginia, to DC, and the county is at risk of continuing to do that. And we've seen that in previous years, and I'm concerned about that going on in the future. So I'll stop there. Thanks for having me tonight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Krause, and thank you all for your testimony this evening. We appreciate it. And the next panel is Tony Mara, Edith Mortalban, Lori Halvorson, Nico Durazio, and Rosemary Lawson. Okay, and we will start with Mr. Mara.
Yes, thank you very much for having me here tonight. My name is Tony Mara, and I'm chair of the Coalition for the Capitol Crescent Trail. And like Ms. Gillespie in the first panel, I want to make a pitch for the council to restore some of the funds in the Parks Department budget that was taken out by the county executive. The coalition that I represent is a community-based nonprofit with several hundred members of the county, and our mission is to preserve, protect, and improve the Capitol Crescent Trail. As you probably know, the trail is the most popular multi-use trail in the metro area, and it's one of the most used in the country. And much of this is because of the good work that's done by the Parks Department. The coalition works closely with the Parks Department, and we appreciate the professional staff who work so hard to maintain and improve not only the trail but also other county recreation facilities. And we know and we have seen firsthand what a great job they do. So we're very concerned about the county executive's proposed drastic and unfair $4.3 million reduction in what the park says it needs at a minimum just to continue the good work that it does. Unlike the treatment that the county executive has given to other county agencies, the county executive proposes to only fund about half of the Parks Department's inflation-adjusted operating costs. The county executive proposes to give the parks only a 4.2% budget increase, while other agencies are getting double or triple that. The CPI rose 6.5% in 22, and we just can't understand why such a great county asset is being shortchanged in the budget process. One of the major attractions of living in the county is the network of parks and trails and recreation centers, and you heard that earlier from Ms. Gillespie about what it means to a lot of people. And it doesn't seem fair, reasonable, or sensible to shortchange one of the best assets we have going for us. And as the previous panelist mentioned, one of the things that we're worried about is making sure that we have a vibrant community, and one of the things that keeps people here is the park system. So I really hope that you will try to put back into the budget that which the park says it needs, and I really request that you don't damage one of the best assets that we have in the county, which is the park system. So please restore the funding that Parks has asked for. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Montalban.
Buenas noches, concejales. Mi nombre es Edith Mortalban y soy la madre de Ashley Edwards, estudiante de la John F. Kennedy que murió trágicamente por una sobredosis de fentanilo el 14 de enero de este año. Fentanilo está destruyendo comunidades, causando estragos irreparables. No podemos quedarnos de brazos cruzados ante crisis que está arrebatando la vida de nuestros jóvenes.
Good evening, Montgomery County Council. My name is Edith Mortalban. My daughter is Ashley Edwards, a student of John F. Kennedy High School who passed away last January 14th due to a fentanyl overdose. Fentanyl is destroying communities and it is causing irreparable damage. We cannot sit idle in this crisis that is affecting our youth.
no existe dolor más grande para una madre el perder a su hijo y peor aún de esta forma. Yo intenté muchas veces pedir ayuda en las escuelas para que Ashley pudiera recibir tratamiento adecuado, pero nunca lo recibí. Ya la mayoría de estos programas son voluntarios.
There is nothing more devastating for a mother to bury a child, and it is even worse when it is due to an overdose. I tried to seek help for Ashley in the schools, but unfortunately I could not find a help. Most of the treatment programs available only accept patients that go there voluntarily.
Por esta razón, me uno a este foro para abogar por un centro de tratamiento para personas adictas que no sea voluntario, especialmente cuando se trata de menores de edad. Entiendo que ustedes están encargados de aprobar fondos para servicios y programas de apoyo que respondan a las necesidades de la comunidad. No esperen a que se dé más muerte.
For this reason, I come to this hearing to advocate for a creation of a treatment center where the acceptance into the center is not voluntarily, especially if we are talking about a minor. I understand that you approve the allocation of funds for programs and services to meet the needs for the community. Do not wait until there is another death in the county.
La adicción es una enfermedad y nuestra sociedad no cuenta ni con los recursos ni con las medidas necesarias para ayudar a los familiares y personas que se ven afectadas con esta enfermedad. Deben de poner aún más atención a las comunidades inmigrantes, ya que por la barrera del idioma se nos dificulta aún más poder acceder a la información y recursos disponibles para ayudar a nuestros hijos. Necesitamos información bilingüe, entrenamientos para padres y este centro de tratamiento y recuperación.
Addiction is an illness, and our society does not have the resources to help the people and their families that are affected by this illness. You need to pay more attention to the immigrant community because due to the language barrier, it is more difficult for us to access information and resources to help our children. We need more bilingual information, education for parents, and the treatment centers that I just mentioned.
Mi vida ya no es la misma desde que mi niña partió. Este calvario no se lo deseo a nadie, pero en su legado, el que me dé fortaleza para continuar abogando por un futuro mejor. Ashley era una joven inteligente con una sonrisa hermosa que inspiraba amor y felicidad. Por favor, actúen con urgencia necesaria para que no se dé una sobredosis y una muerte más en nuestro condado. Les pido por favor que tomen en cuenta mi petición. Gracias.
My life is not the same since my daughter passed away. It is a nightmare that I do not wish upon anybody. Her legacy is what gives me the strength to advocate for a better future. Ashley was very smart, had a beautiful smile that inspired love and happiness. Please, it is urgent that you act now so that we do not have any more overdoses and death in our county. Thank you.
Ms. Montalban, I want to express our sincere condolences for the passing of Ashley. You've turned your loss into advocacy, and we hear you. And I want to yield to my colleague, Councilmember Fanny Gonzalez, who will provide some more information on our work.
This is really hard. I'm going to say in Spanish first, okay? Qué gran mujer es usted o yo. De venir para acá y seguir abogando por su hija. La verdad que todos mis respetos. Como le dije anteriormente, después de reunirme con usted, hice una carta que firmaron todos mis colegas, incluyendo el County Executive, Mark Elridge, y se la mandamos al gobernador Moore. Inmediatamente él contestó y nos vamos a estar reuniendo con él con las personas que trabajan para él en el departamento de salud en 2 semanas, el 24 de abril, pidiéndole ese centro de rehabilitación como lo dice usted, porque no existe no solamente en Montgomery County, sino a nivel estatal. La voy a mantener informada, pero usted fue la que guió a que este movimiento ocurriera. Mil gracias por su apoyo y le voy a seguir informando de lo que pase en inglés. Really quickly in English, I said that I met with Ms. Montalban soon after her daughter passed away, and as soon as I heard the story, I worked on a letter that was signed by all my colleagues and the county executive requesting Governor Wes Moore his assistance to create this rehab center that she's advocating about. There is not a single rehab center for youth in the entire state of Maryland. So we're gonna have a meeting with Governor Moore's staff in 2 weeks, and I just told her that I'm gonna keep her posted. And this is moving forward thanks to her advocacy. She's a great role model, and I really, you know, she's not by herself. There's so many mothers and fathers across the county who are feeling her pain, and we're gonna be doing our best to move this forward. So thank you. That's all.
Thank you all. I'll yield to the chair of the HHS committee, Councilmember Albornoz.
Señora, gracias por venir hoy día. Yo soy padre, muchos de nosotros somos padres, sentimos lo que sientes y estamos trabajando con urgencia, como dijo la concejal Fanny González. Vamos a trabajar con el gobernador, vamos a trabajar con el Departamento de Salud y Servicios Humanos y todas las organizaciones que tienen un papel en este tema tan importante en este momento. Gracias por tu esfuerzo y no estás solo. Gracias.
Gracias.
Thank you again for being here. Next, we'll turn it over to Ms. Halverson.
Good evening. The Montgomery County Federation of Republican Women, which includes 400 members, strongly oppose any tax increases, including increases in the recordation tax. We appreciate the opportunity for you to hear our voice today. GCAR listed a number of reasons they strongly oppose at the 10% tax increase, and we agree with these reasons. I know some of you as fellow Leadership Montgomery graduates, and as a 2013 graduate, I remember the shock of my whole class when Blair Lee, a Gazette columnist and leader in the county, spoke about upcoming doom and gloom. I looked up my notes from his speech and will highlight 4 things that he said. Number 1, Montgomery County is heading down the wrong road because of peculiar politics. Number 2, the county is extremely liberal and proud of nannyism, as in our government and its policies are overprotective and interfere needlessly with personal choice. Number 3, Montgomery County is altruistic to a fault, and our government spends money on social issues to the point that we are running out of money and can't afford to continue on this path. Number 4, our elected officials in Montgomery County can't seem to bring home the bacon. Baltimore pays for 28% of the school budget, while our county pays 80% of this budget. I highlight Mr. Lee's previous statements because they ring true a decade later. Because of the nation's economic prosperity before the pandemic that created surpluses, and because of the overzealous stimulus funds that our county received during the pandemic, our county has become accustomed to living above its means for a number of years now. But the gravy train is drying up. Do you know the expression that if you put a frog in boiling water, it will jump out of the pot? But if you put a frog in tepid water and gradually increase the temperature to boiling, the frog will stay in the pot until it dies. As elected officials, you have established a practice of slowly raising the temperature of the water while the residents gradually adapt unknowingly. However, the members of MCFRW have been paying attention. They are jumping out of the pot that is about to boil. A number of our members are making the choice to leave Montgomery County. The county executive's 10% tax increase proposal is a wake-up call to many who are now seeing how hot the water is becoming. The data from the U.S. Census Vintage 2021 estimates show a loss of population in Montgomery County of 7,234 people, while a previous estimate predicted an increase. So people are leaving already before we've even had a tax increase. So while many of my club members are frustrated with the trajectory of Montgomery County, we still have hope that a more balanced approach to education, transportation, climate change, and business growth will emerge. However, the water is getting too hot for us. For these reasons, we hope that you reject any tax increases. Making difficult budget choices is a lot harder than raising our taxes. But our county will be stronger if you show fiscal constraint and sensible leadership. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. D'Orazio.
Good evening, council members and council president Glass. My name is Nico D'Orazio, and I'm a junior at Thomas S. Boone High School and a passionate student advocate. Today, I come to you with a request a request that will undoubtedly improve the lives of over 160,000 students in Montgomery County. I'm requesting that you vote to fully fund the Montgomery County Public Schools FY 2024 operating budget. Promoting the advancement of our youth's education is no debate on this council. We understand that the advanced education Montgomery County provides to students returns prosperity to our county and supports the growth of future generations. However, in the face of changing economic times, we cannot provide one of the best educations in the county without funding every aspect of the operating budget. Though a $3.2 billion operating budget paired with a tax increase appears inflated and unnecessary, every student in our county needs this increase. With cuts to the operating budget come reductions to the programs supporting our education. MCPS may not be able to fund its $120 million increase in staff salaries if it faced less funding toward its operating budget. Without this increase, MCPS cannot retain nor recruit teachers and staff for our schools, an issue especially prevalent in recent years. At Whewen, this issue has been undeniable. We've been unable to fill a photography teaching position with more than a long-term substitute since the 2021-2022 school year, and have required certain teachers to teach multiple levels of a course during the same class period. However, this ongoing teacher shortage is not limited to just Whewen. In nearly every school across Montgomery County, there exists an open teaching, special education, or teacher's aide position. Without the teaching incentives included in the proposed operating budget, students will not receive the education they need, and teachers will lose the compensation they deserve. Furthermore, the funding for free AP and IB exams may be reduced in the face of the lessened operating budget. I've spent over $400 this year and over $700 in the past 3 years for my AP exams. If a reduction of funding occurs, students who do not qualify for farms but cannot afford their exams will face a vast inequity. They will not be provided the advantage of reporting their scores to colleges and scholarships, as well as receiving college credit for passing scores, because they will not be able to afford their exams. Since free AP and IB exams for all are not currently offered, we are leaving students of lesser income behind and expanding the opportunity gap. However, with full funding of the proposed operating budget, we can resolve this issue and close the expanding opportunity gap. Teacher salaries and costly exams are just some of the issues solved by the proposed operating budget. This budget provides a wide array of solutions to the crises facing students and sustains the programs in place to support us. In order to guarantee the success of our students and the future of our county, I ask that you vote to fully fund the proposed MCPS operating budget, and I thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Last on this panel is Ms. Lawson.
Good evening, Council President Glass and members of the County Council. My name is Rosemary Lawson, and I'm a member of St. Camilla's Catholic Church in Silver Spring and a delegate to Action in Montgomery from my congregation. Thank you for participating in our accountability action in March. We hope you enjoyed the energy in the room. I know we did. With over 600 people present, we heard your commitment to our people's agenda, which is based on the listening campaign we did with over 1,500 people who live, worship, and work in Montgomery County. We ask that each of you lead based on your interest and your committee to ensure that these issues are championed. With that in mind, my testimony tonight is a continuation of that process. Later this evening, you will hear from my compatriot, Ms. Anna Argueta. Tonight, I will ask you to please support an expansion of early childhood care and a pilot for expanding our dental safety net. The cost of child care is exorbitant, yet many child care providers are not paid enough for the work they do. While we know the state of Maryland will invest in expanding pre-K through the blueprint for Maryland's future, it is not going to be enough to get to universal. And we don't want the expansion to happen at the expense of losing child care seats for younger children. That is why we are asking you to support early care and education for children aged birth through 5 through investments in programs that increase the supply of community-based child care centers, B, child care subsidy programs to make it easier for families to apply and qualify. And C, creating 1,000 new mixed delivery seats in this fiscal year's budget. Second, we also heard about how families have been struggling to secure dental care. We are asking you to invest in a small pilot program for dental care in the lowest income families with the Hewitt Avenue community. This includes a mobile dental van that goes directly to the community at least 3 times in year 1 to do a preliminary screening. A service coordinator will support patients in getting an appointment for specialty care. Their files are shared per HIPAA guidelines so that patients don't have to repeat exams, and that patient is connected to a dental home where they can receive ongoing and preventative dental care.
Ms. Lawson?
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
finish up? Thank you.
We want to evaluate this small program and then expand. Thank you so much for your time and attention.
Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone else for name who attended tonight. Thank you very much for your testimony this evening. Next, I'd like to call up James Geckis, David Hill, Levante Chapman, Ana Agueda, and Sarah Morse. Very good. Mr. Geckis, if you want to turn your microphone on, hit the button right. Try that one. There you go. You got 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, Council President Glass and members of the Montgomery County Council. My name is James Geckis. I'm a Montgomery County resident and a proud Montgomery College alum. But I'm not only an MC graduate. I'm also a current student who has returned to study cybersecurity at MC. After graduating from high school, I enrolled in MC in 2005. I earned an associate's degree in general studies and transferred to the University of Maryland, College Park to receive my bachelor's degree in business. I went on to work with the Smithsonian Institution for a year and then for DHL Express as logistics manager for 8 years. However, I felt that the world was moving forward, but I was staying the same after working at the same job for 8 years. We all see that the world is changing so quickly, so rapidly, especially with technology. I realized I needed to make a career change. Cybersecurity seemed like the best option, offering a career with advancement opportunities. But I needed an education to get me ready for that change. I considered going to get a master's degree, but I didn't want to spend tons of money to create debt. Plus, I didn't know much about computers, so I had to start from scratch. There was only one place that could give me the opportunity that I wanted and needed, and that is Montgomery College. MC offered the education required at an affordable price with quality classrooms and labs to begin a new career in cybersecurity. My experience with MC has always been great. My professors are current practitioners in their field, which means that I'm receiving a very relevant education in that field. And the students are some of the best and brightest out there, I can promise you that. Of course, saving money on tuition is critically important too. I love MC and I'm proud to be graduating in May with my cybersecurity degree. So I'm here tonight to ask you to support Montgomery College's budget requests. I will close with this question. Have you ever been asked, if you've had all the money in the world, what would you do? Well, my response to this has changed over the years, but I know what I would do. I would study at Montgomery College. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight on behalf of the voice of Montgomery College alumni.
Fantastic testimony. Thank you very much. Mr. Hill.
Good evening, Council President Glass, members of the County Council. My name is David Hill. a 31-year county resident, but I'm here tonight as a board member of the George B. Thomas Senior Learning Academy, GBTLA, also known as the Saturday School. I'm here to ask you, the County Council, to restore funding that was cut from the county executive's budget. Specifically, I'm asking that you restore $400,000 into the budget allocation for GBTLA. For those of you who don't know, GBTLA was started in 1986 by the Mu chapter of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. 19 volunteer tutors, 21 students. Over the past 3 decades plus, in partnership with MCPS and the county, we now are operating in 10 centers in the county, across the county, as well as serving thousands of students each year. Based upon the historical data, our students that go through the program, our programs, outperform students from similar backgrounds who don't go to Saturday school. It's particularly true for the K through 6th grades. With my testimony, I'll be submitting letters from 2 of our county center coordinators from Gaithersburg and Paint Branch, expressing both the impact we make and the needs of the students we serve. I submit to you, if GBTLA did not exist today, you would be here trying to figure out how to start it. We meet an unmet need. We need your support. GBTLA has won accolades in Montgomery County and beyond for a model Saturday school program. But despite all that, the county executive decided to cut our funding by $560,000. He did so by claiming he was right-sizing based on the number of students we serve, and we do serve fewer students than we did pre-pandemic. But with the pandemic, we had to go virtual, and there wasn't much of an appetite for virtual 6-day learning when they spent all week in front of a computer machine. And then, more importantly, MCPS with CARES Act funding is now providing a free tutoring service and paying tutors, the same people that we rely on, more money than we can possibly pay them. But that CARES Act funding is going to run out. So we're here, and this is the beginning of the conversation. I'm looking forward to talking with each of you. We're here because we want to be as much a part of the future as we have been part of the past. GBTLA is a known quantity in this community. We provide not just reading, writing, and arithmetic, but social and emotional learning, uplift to needed students in the community. If you remember one thing, please don't consider this a budget exercise. This is not simply a line item budget exercise. These are needed services provided to students who don't otherwise receive services that are part of the fabric of this county. So as I said, we're specifically asking that you restore $400,000 to the budget allocation for GBTLA. And as I said, this is just the beginning of the conversation. I look forward to following up with each and every one of you in the days and months to come. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who joined you. Levante Chapman.
Hello, Council.
There you go.
Hello, Council President Glass, Vice President Friedson, and members of the County Council. My name is Levante Chapman, and I am the Executive Director of Nonprofit Montgomery. On behalf of our 200 member organizations and tens of thousands of Montgomery County residents that they serve, thank you for giving me this opportunity to testify today. Budgets are important documents. They not only provide a snapshot of financial expectations, they also highlight priorities. We know that Montgomery County values its partnership with nonprofits, and we ask that the Council ensure the FY24 budget reflects the critical nature of that partnership. We appreciate the 3% increase that the County Council included in his budget proposal, but as he himself said, year on year, the consumer price index has risen 6.6%. We ask that you add on an additional 3.6 increase across the board in the FY24 budget to enable nonprofits to keep up with the high demand of services and the rise of costs for providing those services for county residents. The nonprofit sector continues to be on the front lines of responding to the high level of need in the county. For example, the 35 to 40% of Montgomery County children who are at risk of hunger, the 130,000 people who are at risk for not being able to make rent, which you all understand the need for, because you all supported and voted to the proposed Emergency Rental Assistance Fund at the state level earlier this year. We are painfully conscious of the fact that the pandemic adversely affected student learning, particularly for Black, Hispanic, and economically disadvantaged students. We have a shared responsibility to help the students catch up, and that is just the tip of the iceberg. Like other businesses in the county, nonprofits feel squeezed by rising prices as well. Our members report transportation costs rising by 20%, insurance increasing by 11%, and transitional housing costs increasing by 50% or more. We need to be able to keep up with this. And so with the high cost of living in the county and the constrained resources, nonprofits can't pay competitive salaries, so we're losing good people to the private sector. We can't continue to provide the consistent high-quality services that you all rely on us to provide if we can attract, retain qualified, motivated staff. So we ask that you increase the budget by 3.6%, and we also want to state that we strongly support the efforts by the Office of Grants the Grants Management Office and the administration, to implement reforms to the county grants process, and we hope that we have your support on that as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Argueta.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Ana Argueta. Mi hijo asiste a John Lelek Elementary School, la que es una escuela que participa con acción en Montgomery. Yo vivo en Northwest Park Apartment, en Silver Spring, pero esta noche estoy hablando no solo por los residentes de Northwest Park, pero también por las comunidades de Quebec Terrace y Hewitt Avenue y Cider Mill.
Good evening. My name is Ana Argueta. My son attends Joanne Lelek Elementary School, which is a school that participates with action in Montgomery. I live in the Northwest Park Apartments in Silver Spring, but tonight I am speaking not only for the residents of Northwest Park, but also for the communities of Quebec Terrace, Hewitt Avenue, and Cider Mill.
President Glass y miembros del concejal. Así como dijo mi compañera Rosemary, le agradecemos por su participación en nuestro evento en marzo.
President Glass and members of the council, as my colleague Rosemary said, we thank you for your participation in our event the previous month of March.
Esta noche yo hablaré sobre los derechos de los inquilinos y las formas en que el presupuesto del año fiscal 24 puede tomar medidas para proteger a los inquilinos.
Tonight, I'll be talking about tenant rights and ways that FY24 budget can take steps to protect tenants.
Vivimos en lugares donde vivimos porque amamos nuestras escuelas, donde los maestros aportan creatividad y alegría a la vida de nuestros hijos. Pero eso no significa que debamos vivir en la miseria. Estamos viviendo en apartamentos, en condiciones que son inaceptables. Y no ha habido suficientes inspecciones ni un seguimiento efectivo después de las mismas.
We live where we live because we love our schools, where teachers bring creativity and joy to our children's life. But that doesn't mean we should live in misery. Some of our leaders have been living in apartments in conditions that are unacceptable and have not been inspected or followed up effectively afterwards.
Es demasiado fácil para los propietarios elegir qué unidades deben inspeccionarse o venir y literalmente pintar sobre el problema, ya sea moho o otros problemas.
It is all too easy for property managers to choose which units should be inspected or to come in and literally paint over the problem, whether it be mold or other issues.
Y a la misma vez hemos visto un patrón de vandalismo y robo de propiedad, incluso en vehículos en las mismas comunidades.
Our concern is that we have seen a pattern of vandalism and property thefts, including from vehicles in locations such as Quebec Terrace, Cider Mill, and Hewitt Avenue.
Por eso estamos pidiendo que ustedes, número 1, apoyen una línea directa para inquilinos como el 311 en varios idiomas, comenzando con español y francés, donde los inquilinos puedan llamar si tienen preguntas o problemas.
Therefore, we are asking that you, number one, support a tenant hotline like 311 in multiple languages, starting with Spanish and French, where tenants can call with questions or problems.
Número 2. Apoyen un sitio web donde los inquilinos pudieran subir sus fotos y videos de los daños a sus apartamentos y realizar un seguimiento de la respuesta, y que se apoye un departamento de vivienda proactivo, vigilante con los recursos para garantizar que los inquilinos puedan vivir en dignidad.
Number 2, support a website where renters can upload photos and videos of the damage to their apartments and track the response, and that they support a vigilant and proactive Department of Housing with the resources to ensure that tenants can live with dignity.
Número 3, que apoyen a financiar el proyecto de ley 1422 y que se aseguren de que el programa de prioridad a las comunidades Quebec Terrace, Cider Mill, Highway Avenue, los apartamentos Northwest Park y Rock Creek Terraces. Muchas gracias.
And number 3, support Funding Bill 1422 and make sure the program prioritizes the communities Quebec Terrace, Cider Mill, Hewitt Avenue, Northwest Park Apartment, and Rock Creek Terrace. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The last speaker on this panel, Sarah Morse.
Good evening, and thanks for the opportunity to testify. I'm clearly not Sarah Morse.
I know Sarah Morse, and you, Sarah, are no Sarah Morse.
Sarah was ill today and asked me to fill in for her. My name is Jack Sobel. I'm on the board of the Little Falls Watershed Alliance, affectionately known as LIFWA, and an environmental stewardship group for the Little Falls Watershed located in Lower Montgomery County. We're not a huge watershed, but we include some of what we believe are the county's most important resources, including the Little Falls Stream Valley Park and a good chunk of the Capitol Crescent Trail. On behalf of LIFWA, I am testifying in support of the Montgomery County Parks and urge you to restore the $4.3 million that was cut from their budget request and to fully fund the parks. As a watershed group, we work closely with parks on a number of our projects to remove invasive species, to restore meadows, to run a monthly stream cleanup, and a variety of other projects. We also work with Montgomery Parks engineers to identify areas that need further stormwater management and improved stormwater management. And we are looking forward to the formation of the new Willett Branch Stream Valley Park, which will bring another great resource in and help to restore that stream and bring it back to life. So what does reduced funding mean to us? Well, for one thing, reduced funding means a reduction in personnel. Every park employee I know is the hardest working person I have ever met. And having not enough of them not only affects their direct work, it indirectly affects our work, because many of the voluntary projects we lead require park approval, park sponsorship, park something. And as one example, there are only 4 park employees who work on restoration of plant and such matters. And so that very often limits what we can do with a very enthusiastic volunteer crew. Reduced funding also means fewer dollars for infrastructure maintenance. We have very heavily used and very crowded parks. And we have paths, walking paths, that are often not in a condition to be walked on, especially after heavy rain. Some of these have become dangerous to walk on. And as Ms. Gillespie said on the very first panel, I'm out there every day. I'm out there on that park. It's important to me and it's important to my community. Little Falls Watershed is proud of our work and our efforts on behalf of the environment, but we can't do it alone. We need a properly funded park program and a properly staffed park program. April is Earth Month. And I invite you to celebrate Earth Month by fully funding the parks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You did Sarah proud. Please wish her well for us. Thank you all for your testimony this evening. Next panel I'd like to invite up Jeff Wright, Dr. Malkia Sapp, Judith Clark, Karishma Sheth, and Robin Olivo. Okay, is Jeff Wright here? Not seeing Mr. Wright. Ms. Malkia Sapp. Okay. I do see Ms. Judy Clark.
Greetings, Council President Glass and members of the Council. I'm Judy Clark, CEO and founder of Women Who Care Ministries. Our mission, which is very near and very dear to my heart, is ending child hunger. For more than 22 years, we have provided critical safety net services, particularly our Helping Kids Eat weekend meal program. During the height of COVID, we provided more than 7,000 meals each Friday in the grab and go model outside on the curbside. And then when schools reopened in 2021, we went back to our original model, which was direct service directly through Montgomery County Public Schools. And we currently provide more than 2,500 students at 41 Montgomery County Public Schools all throughout the county. Each Friday, the personnel from the school discreetly hands each kid the nutritious meal to take home for weekend consumption. They return to school on Monday, nourished, ready to learn, and able to concentrate. This program is critical because malnutrition affects the cognitive and behavioral development of children, in addition to affecting their physical growth. Sadly, the fiscal year 24 amount proposed for this program only provides weekend meals to 44 students per week for the entire school year, although there are 2,500 students per week on our fiscal year 24 roster. Matter of fact, just one of our 41 schools, Burtmill Elementary in Silver Spring, has 223 children weekly receiving these meals. So the proposed budget is not sufficient, and the specifics of this gap and our needs are outlined in our written testimony. As always, we want to stick and stay in the fight to help end child hunger, but we need adequate funds in order to be able to do so. Otherwise, we won't be able to continue providing these critical weekend meals as we have successfully done for 22 years. We've definitely got what it takes, not just in providing weekend meals, but we have the expertise to continue incorporating many methods which strategically address the root and underlying dynamics of hunger on a deeper level, thus helping end child hunger. Yes, with needed funds matched with our tenacity and ingenuity, we can continue to play a significant role in enriching the county's vision of ending child hunger. We can continue to make a difference in the lives of children and in their future. Child hunger, so serious yet so solvable. Council members, we want to stick and stay and help win the fight to ultimately end child hunger, one day, one precious kid at a time. Can we count on your support? We pray so. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Ms. Clark. Ms. Sheth.
Good evening, Council President Glass, Council Vice President Friedson, and members of the Council. Thank you for the opportunity to represent EveryMind and the mental health interests of Montgomery County's children and families. My name is Karishma Sheth, and I'm the Chief Program Officer at EveryMind. I've had the honor and privilege of working with many of you to improve the mental wellness of our community, and I look forward to continuing this work together. I am here today not only as a nonprofit leader asking for critical funding for mental health, but also as a proud, lifelong Montgomery County resident. I immigrated to the United States as a toddler from India. My parents brought us to the U.S. for the American dream, a dream where my brothers and I would have access to a high-quality education and opportunities to reach our full potential. I am pleased to say my brothers and I are proud MCPS graduates and working as leaders and small business owners right here in our county. I have dedicated my life to ensuring equitable and accessible mental health services for my fellow residents, working diligently as a leader in a community I am proud to call home. Now I also get to watch my nieces and nephews grow up in this county, which is amazing to experience. There is so much to celebrate and appreciate, and yet I am acutely aware of the youth mental health crisis that our children and youth are experiencing every day. Therefore, on a personal and professional level, I want to ensure that nonprofits like Every Mind can continue providing necessary mental health services in our schools for children and their families. We appreciate the county executive's recommended 3% increase in nonprofit contract funding. And we also recognize that in order to continue to be the safety net this county needs, and as a member organization of Nonprofit Montgomery, we must ask this council to consider an additional 3% increase. This increase would strengthen our ability to retain licensed and certified professionals who are combating homelessness, depression, trauma, and suicide across our county. If we cannot retain a qualified workforce, our community will suffer. Furthermore, we must address the dual crises our young people are facing, the youth mental health crisis and the fentanyl crisis. We ask the council to consider increasing mental health resources in schools, especially in middle schools, where there is a significant gap in services. We are thrilled that every high school now has a wellness center or bridge to wellness. This is a strong step in the right direction. We must now do this for every middle school as well. In addition, we have recently learned of a significant shift in funding for 12 linkages to learning schools in the Mid-County region. As a result, some linkages providers in high-need schools may receive less than $200,000 per school, while others may receive as much as $350,000. We urge the council to increase funding for linkages to learning so that each school receives at least $375,000. Funding at this level will help providers retain vital staff as well as such as community school coordinators who work in collaboration with MCPS community school liaisons to meet the unique and varying needs of linkages school communities. Please help us maintain and increase quality mental health services and staff in our schools. With the youth mental health crisis at an all-time high, we must add resources and services. We urge you to find additional funding to provide every child in Montgomery County with the opportunity to reach their potential, just like my brothers and I were able to. Thank you for your leadership, time, and consideration.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shen. And final on this panel, Ms. Olivo.
Yes, good evening, and
feels like this afternoon too. Long day for everybody.
Good evening, and I thank you for listening to me, and thank you for the council. My name is Robin Olivo, and I am a participant for the Community Affairs Advocacy Program. And my ask is that for people with mental health that want to go to work, that subsidy be in the budget for housing and medical, because people excuse me, I got a little nervous. I advocate for people like me who want to go back to work even though they have a mental illness. In May of 2011, prior to that, I was a service coordinator for people with disabilities, developmental disabilities. But in 2011, I had a nervous breakdown, and I was diagnosed with a mental illness. During that time, I found out that there was a program called peer support program. And it took me 3 years to be reemployed, and I was homeless, and I had got subsidy. After getting my certification, I was able to maintain a job and work. But I lost my Social Security benefits, and I was in jeopardy of losing my housing, because when you work, you can't make but so much money, and then they take away your subsidies. And that can also be a barrier for people with mental illness that want to go back and be a productive member of society and work, because if you don't have your housing, that can spiral down into a crisis. And if you don't have medical insurance, you can't go to the doctor. So my ask is that we look for a way to bridge the gap on that barrier for individuals that want to go back to work but still have their subsidy and their mental health and their medical coverage. Thank you.
Thank you. You did a great job. Thank you all. Thank you all for participating this evening. Next group I'd like to call up Carlos Maraquin, Rick Callahan, Masa Kressel, Sandra Landis, and Emily Wilson. Okay, Mr. Marroquin.
Good evening, members of the County Council. I appreciate your time and am honored to speak with you. My name is Carlos Marroquin, and I am a Montgomery College alum. I am also a former Montgomery County Public Schools teacher, a current education professor at Montgomery College, and a Silver Spring resident. Montgomery College has played such an important role in my life. I was raised a lot of my life in Montgomery County, more specifically Silver Spring. I attended Montgomery County Public Schools as a student and graduated from Montgomery Blair High School. During my time as a student at MCPS, I struggled a bit to find success. Throughout my whole public school experience, I wanted to find a teacher that I could relate to, a teacher who looked like me and had a similar upbringing. Unfortunately, while I had many amazing teachers, I never found that teacher I was looking for. This inspired me to want to become a teacher so I could motivate and work with students who were like myself. I wasn't sure how I would become a teacher, but I knew that I needed a college degree. As the first in my family to go to college, I did not have a lot of guidance on how to accomplish my dream, but I knew I needed an affordable option. The one piece of advice I was given was to apply to Montgomery College. So I woke up early one morning and went to the MC admissions office and applied to be a student at MC. I didn't know it then, but that would be one of the best decisions I'd ever make in my life. Montgomery College was the place where I became a stronger student. I was allowed to take academic risks I had never even considered. I wasn't a perfect student. In fact, I failed quite a bit, but I was able to find the support I needed to get through my failures and eventually find success. Importantly, it was at MC where I finally found the teacher I'd searched my whole life for, a professor who looked like me. She may not have known it, but I decided she was my mentor. With its affordable tuition, quality facilities, and great faculty, Montgomery College prepared me for my four-year institution and for the field of education. I chose to become an MCPS teacher where I served for 8 years at Greencastle Elementary School teaching 3rd and 5th graders. This year, I joined Montgomery College as a full-time faculty member for the School of Education where I recruit, inspire, and prepare future MCPS teachers. I am proud to be an MC alum and am honored to ask for your continued support for Montgomery College. Please support the college's budget requests. With your support, we can continue to educate first-generation college students like myself and future MCPS teachers. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Mr. Callahan.
Good evening, Mr. Chairperson and fellow County Council members. I want to thank you for the opportunity to present to the whole Council. My name is Rick Callahan. I am the co-chair of Interact and the executive director of Compass. Interact is a coalition of 41 service agencies providing community-based support services in Montgomery County for approximately 4,000 citizens with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families, funded primarily through the Developmental Disabilities Administration. For over 40 years, Montgomery County government has provided supplemental funding for DDA-funded services delivered in the county, better known as the DD Supplement. Interact members request that the County Council increase the DD Supplement from the amount proposed by the County Executive of $20.6 million to $22.1 million, which is a COLA increase based upon the Social Security CPI index for 2023. I wholeheartedly wish that I was not here under these circumstances. I wish I could say that inflation has not increased. I wish I could say that COVID is not here to stay. I wish I could say that we are not in the midst of a historic workforce crisis. And I wish I could say that DD providers have no vacancies. Unfortunately, that is not the case. According to the CPI, Social Security CPI index, inflation has increased over 14% in the last 2 years. COVID is part of our society and certainly part of working in the DD community. DSP workforce crisis remains a significant challenge for DD providers. This leads to people receiving less services and or no services because DD providers cannot locate DSPs to provide the service. Montgomery County's minimum wage for large employers is increasing to $16.70. To be competitive in a very tight workforce, DD providers will at least be paying that prevailing wage of $16.70. The DD supplement bridges the gap between the DDA-funded reimbursable services and actual costs to provide high-quality DD services in Montgomery County. DD providers and their DSPs are part of the care economy. The care economy is both paid and unpaid services. Fully funding the DD supplement could prevent DSPs from leaving this traditionally low-wage workforce, resulting in more unfilled positions. Unpaid care workers, usually families, need to leave their own jobs to provide care that would otherwise be provided by the DSP. According to the Boston Consulting Group, for every 10 paid caregivers who leave the workforce, one person in another part of the economy is forced to leave the workforce to take care of that person. I urge you to support the Interact request to increase the DD supplement, which is vital to ensure the health and safety of our most vulnerable citizens. Again, I want to thank you for your time and the long-standing partnership between Montgomery County and DD community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Callahan. Ms. Kressel.
Good evening. My name is Massa Kressel, and I'm the Interim Executive Director of the Montgomery County Food Council. Thank you, Council President Glass and the County Council for considering community perspectives in the annual budget process. The Food Council urges County Council to maintain the significant progress and momentum of the county's efforts to increase food resiliency by sufficiently funding the local food system, including the newly created Office of Food Systems Resilience. Key lessons have been learned over the last several years, and important steps have been taken to ensure that food resiliency is a priority across Montgomery County. It is important that funding continues to match the progress that has been made and ideas that have been fostered. The Food Council stands ready and eager to continue serving in a leadership capacity in this effort for our county. With the remaining $6.5 million in ARPA funds dedicated to food security, we urge the County Council to consider building on recent community planning efforts to further increase our food resiliency. For example, these funds could be used to implement aspects of the recently presented strategic plan to end childhood hunger, such as expansion of SNAP enrollment programs and food as medicine initiatives. In addition, there's a critical need for facilities that aggregate and lightly process products from our local farms for institutional and resident purchasing, a one-time expenditure that this funding could support. As a state-funded community benefit organization, the Food Council has an inside perspective on the current needs and demands within the SNAP system. There are only 5 state-funded CBOs who serve Montgomery County residents, and CBOs only receive a 50% reimbursement for their work. Maryland residents are already reeling from the end of pandemic enacted increases to benefits, and we also still have the largest SNAP gap in the state. More direct funding to CBOs is needed to bring these federal resources to Montgomery County businesses while supporting residents at severe risk of hunger. Finally, we join our voice with the nonprofit sector to urge an increase for county government contracts of 3.6% on top of the 3% in the current county executive budget due to year-over-year price increases of 6.6% since March of 2022. Adequate funding ensures that the nonprofit sector is able to compensate our staff fairly and ensure a continuation of essential services. Thank you for your leadership in building a more equitable, resilient, and sustainable food system in our county.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Landis.
Good evening, Council President Glass, Vice President Friedson, members of the Council, and others here tonight. My name is Sandra Landis, and I'm appearing before you for the second consecutive year to discuss the same issue. I'm the Montgomery County Chapter leader of Start School Later, a national organization dedicated to ensuring school start times compatible with health, safety, education, and equity. Sadly, this year the need for my advocacy is even more critical than it was last year, as we collectively mourn the quality of life our teens and communities formerly enjoyed due to increased incidents of violence, hatred, suicide, and despair. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you this evening to present some ideas for addressing this. Although starting school at safe and healthy bell times seems to fall within the purview of MCPS, the reason MCPS advises that they cannot move to healthy bell times for secondary school students is because they have an insufficient number of school buses. As such, they only transport their elementary students at safe and healthy bell times. While tens of thousands of middle and high school students and their families deal with this daily, the county is simultaneously in the midst of a Ride-On Reimagined review of the Montgomery County bus network. If we could combine the need to transport our students to school at safe and healthy bell times with the ongoing Ride-On assessment, we can scope out and cost what it would take to be able to transport all of our 160,000+ students to and from school at appropriate bell times. I have been advised that the county has approximately $80 million in surplus income tax revenue. If neither NCPS nor the current Ride-On study have sufficient revenues to fund a comprehensive look at getting all our children to school at safe and healthy bell times using all our available transportation assets, perhaps a small portion of these funds could be directed to complete such a study and or to loop in reviewing metro assets as well if needed. MCPS is an integral part of this effort because they have the data on where students live and, more importantly, where they attend school. Establishing later bell times is fundamental to secondary students' mental and physical health and well-being. Most medical groups in the country recommend that secondary school start times begin no earlier than 8:30 a.m. due to biological changes that occur in adolescence, when teens' need for sleep to support their emerging higher-level brain functions increase. However, their onset of sleep is delayed. Additionally, the more active REM sleep, during which the brain is most engaged, occurs toward the end of the sleep cycle. So we're currently not only waking teenagers too early, but we're waking them up during the most critical portion of their sleep cycle. I'm convinced that MCPS cannot solve this transportation problem without help from the county. That said, I'm absolutely certain that given the diversity of our county, MCPS is part of the broader solution for our teens. We need to have our students arrive at school available to learn. Thank you again for your time and interest in this important matter.
Thank you. And last on this panel, Ms. Wilson.
Good evening, Council President Glass and members of the County Council. Thank you for the honor of testifying before you. My name is Emily Wilson, and I am here as a proud Montgomery College alumni. I am a lifelong Montgomery County resident and a Montgomery County Public Schools graduate. Today, I live in Gaithersburg, and I work here in the county as a nurse at Suburban Hospital. After I graduated from Poolsville High School in 2000, I went on to earn my bachelor's degree. I immediately took a job at MCPS's Regional Institute for Children and Adolescents, where I worked to help children with severe emotional struggles. After 17 years at RICA, I decided to make a career change. I wanted to become a nurse and continue to serve my community. Like so many of the nurses I now work with, I turned to Montgomery College for the education I needed to begin my nursing career. I had to be able to continue working while also getting my degree, and I needed an affordable option. Additionally, I wanted to make sure I gained a quality education. MC has a great reputation with 2-year nursing programs. Hospitals really like MC nursing graduates because we are so well prepared, and they know we will be successful at their institutions. With access to affordable tuition, location close to home, amazing nursing labs, and a strong stature, it was an easy decision to attend Montgomery College to pursue my dream of becoming a nurse. My time at MC was fantastic. The college supported nursing students so much, especially during the pandemic. Professors were always available to students, and the college even offered supplemental clinical experience during the summer after so many clinical opportunities were on hold during the pandemic. So we would be fully prepared to work with patients. I graduated from MC in 2021, and then I began my career as a nurse at Suburban Hospital over a year ago, where I get to serve Montgomery County residents. I'm here tonight to thank you for your support of the college, and I ask you to please support MC's budget request. Access to MC's affordable tuition and highly qualified facilities changed my life. Please support MC so that graduates like me can pursue our dreams and serve our communities. Thank you.
Thank you. We love hearing MC success stories, so thank you for sharing yours. Thank you all for your testimony this evening. We have 2 more people who will be testifying in person before we go virtual, and those 2 are Jenny Amara Diaz and Courtney Hall, who's brought his fan club behind him. And Ms. Diaz is not here. So, Mr. Hall, you have the floor to yourself. You have 3 minutes.
So does this mean that I get like 15 minutes? Right? All right. No, not at all, Andrew? Okay. All right.
People ask for a lot during the budget. I'm not sure I've ever heard people ask for that before.
The longer you take, the less you get.
Oh, well, I'll be quick then. Well, the opposite effect. All right. Well, good evening, council members. Thank you so much for this opportunity to testify. I'm Courtney Hall, the CEO for Interfaith Works, and I'm really pleased that we've been in Montgomery County for 51 years serving people who are experiencing poverty. We're really grateful. Not only am I grateful for the support of my board, but I'm also grateful for the continued partnership of the county, and really appreciate that the county executive has already included in his recommended budget $388,000 for security and a 3% increase across all nonprofit contracts, as you heard mentioned earlier, in the recommended FY24 budget. Despite this, however, Interfaith Works in particular is still facing a significant revenue gap for our shelter and supportive housing programs. So I'll highlight some things. Shelter is a core service that the county really must provide. It can't operate without it. We operate 4 shelters in the county, which represents 47% of the county's shelter capacity. Last year, we served 863 people. We are facing for these 4 programs a $353,000 revenue gap. Supportive housing is also a core county program. Really, it ensures that people don't languish in shelter, that they are able to move out quickly, which we have become really good at doing. And through these, a variety of programs, we served 373 people last year. Our clients are able to have 100% housing stability, and one of our programs, Rapid Rehousing, 94% of those clients do not return to shelter after 24 months, and I'm really proud to say that's the best program in the county. For those programs, unfortunately, we're facing a $414,000 revenue gap. Together, that creates a $767,000 revenue gap for these core programs. Really, this limits what we can pay our valued employees. Hospitals and behavioral treatment centers are paying an average of $20.77 an hour. Those are our direct competitors. We're 30% below the market value because our starting wage is $15.86 an hour. One of our employees left Interfaith Works to go and work for the county's crisis center doing similar work. This person was earning $36,000 with us and is now earning $65,000. Okay? Just for context. Too often we lose employees because of our pay, and as a result, our turnover rate is twice the industry average. Our employees want to stay. They tell us that they feel valued and supported, connected to our mission, appreciate being able to make a difference, appreciate the extensive training, but regrettably have to leave because of higher pay elsewhere. So in summary, I'll leave you with 2 points. 1, our work is core to the county's ability to effectively serve its residents. 2, we're losing staff to competitors because our pay is 30% below market value. So in addition to the county executive's recommendations, we are requesting an additional $767,000 to address the revenue gap that we're facing. You have my written testimony, and I encourage you to ask any questions. I'll be happy to answer. How'd I do?
Very good.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hall, and thank you to your board who's here as well. We're about to go virtual, but I see someone who's on my list for virtual. Mr. Abedi is here. If you want to come down and provide IRL testimony.
Good evening, and it's great to see everyone. My name is Afshin Abedi, and I am speaking on behalf of Montgomery County's medical daycare providers. I'm very proud to see some of you have come and visited us, and you can see what we do at the center day in, day out, rain and shine. We provide care for elderly and disabled individuals from age 16 all the way up as long as they can survive. And we are also sharing the same concerns as our other colleagues who are providing care in Montgomery County are bringing to your attention. Minimum wage has been very challenging for us. If you remember back in 2017, when minimum wage was being discussed to be increasing towards $15, Montgomery County Council supported a line item for medical daycares for the first time, so that we would be able to get a gap funding to cover the difference between what the state minimum wage is and what the county minimum wage is. And that's been a lifesaver. And I really want to thank you all and the county executive, especially for last year and supporting us through COVID. It's gone a long way. That's why we're sitting here in front of you. COVID may be over by now in some ways, but the impact of COVID is here and lingering. One of the most, to give you a flavor of what we're dealing with, our attendance, in-facility attendance at the present time, and we've taken an average across the state and also the county, is only about 65% what it used to be before COVID. And since we bill based on attendance, that brings down our revenue tremendously. We've received some administrative fee that's been our lifesaver for the past, throughout the COVID. But as an end of the state of emergency, we're being told by the department that that could disappear as well in end of April. We're talking to the department with that and trying to see. But when your attendance is down and your revenue is below 2019 and you're dealing with 2023 expenses, you can do the math. That's the challenge. We really appreciate county executive support and recommendation for a 2% increase for this year. If this can increase to same as the other ones to 6%, that will be at least better. But we appreciate the fact that you all recognize that medical daycares need your support. And all those, we could fill up this room 3 times over, but we just didn't want to bring all the elderly and disabled here. They're all very appreciative of your help. Thank you very much. I've provided additional information to the staff, and any additional details as needed, we'll be able to, be glad to answer. Some of you who haven't come to the daycare, please come over and visit us. We'll definitely be very happy.
I will let you know the room was full this afternoon from providers, so mission accomplished there. But thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you very much.
We're going to go back virtual, and next up is Victoria Baldessano.
Good evening, council members. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak. I am the director of the part-time faculty union at Montgomery College. In 2007, I organized a grassroots campaign which led to the formation of our union in 2010. I've played various leadership roles in the union since the beginning. I was its first president, and I am currently its current director. This fall, I will celebrate 18 years of teaching English at the Montgomery Parks Silver Spring campus in Montgomery College. I'm here tonight to ask the Montgomery County Council to fully fund the college's fiscal year 2024 operating budget request and to reject the $2.9 million reduction to the college's capital budget. As you know, Montgomery College plays an important role in our community by providing post-secondary educational services as well as workforce development courses and job training to our diverse student body. Montgomery College has over 900 part-time faculty on its 3 campuses who play a key role in carrying out the college's mission. We teach many of the core courses that students are required to take for graduation and transition to a 4-year institution. We are the tutors and coaches that students turn to for extra support. We also serve on committees and in college governance. Our students deserve high-quality, affordable college education, and Montgomery College's faculty members deserve wage increases that help us do the demanding job of teaching. If we are to reach broader sectors of our community, we must continue building new, well-equipped facilities and expanding through projects such as the East County Education Center. Thank you for hearing me out. Thank you so much for your continued support of Montgomery College, its students, its faculty and staff, and its mission.
Thank you, Ms. Baldessano. Next, we'll be joined by Mr. Vernon Ricks.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, councilmen, and members of the County Council. Unmute myself.
No, we hear you and we see you, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. I am Vernon Ricks, and I guess I can say good night at this point. I sit on the executive committee of Montgomery County NAACP, the Police Advisory Commission, and I am also a former Montgomery Parks council member and mayor pro tem, first elected in the 1970s. That's probably before most of the council was born. I also proudly serve as vice president, board of Montgomery Community Media. MCM is our county's award-winning community media center where every day people can learn how to write, shoot, edit, and post their content, even using their smartphone. Speaking of smartphones, did you know MCM has a program called the Senior Smart Series? High school students, volunteers, and our media professionals visit a local senior center and teach seniors how to get the most out of their devices. I was impressed by some of the comments. One said, "I learned so much, I learned how to install applications." That could have been me. I went to the App Store. I went to settings and I changed my background. I used Spotify and downloaded some jazz. I love that. Low-cost media training classes are available for individuals, businesses, and nonprofits. Students can use our high-tech media equipment, studios, and podcast facilities in Rockville and Silver Spring to create their own polished programs. And MCM's small but mighty team of Emmy award-winning media professionals cover and curate county news and information, training the next generation of content creators while keeping residents informed of critical issues, community priorities, and election information. So I ask each of you to please continue to support Montgomery Community Media, MCM. Again, thank you for this opportunity, and good evening.
Good evening back to you, Mr. Ricks. Thank you. Next is Daniela Wilson.
Good evening. My name is Danilia Wilson, and I am a first grade teacher at Wheaton Woods Elementary School and the secretary of the Montgomery County Education Association. Today, you've heard from nurses, firefighters, law enforcement, administrators, school support personnel, and teachers. That's a coalition that includes 50,000 plus employees in this county and is who interacts most with the children in our communities. We worry about what a child will become tomorrow, yet we forget that they are someone today. It is through that lens that I am before you today to address a growing concern that is affecting everyone at the Montgomery County Public School System, a staffing crisis that is negatively impacting children, communities, and this county's future. The situation has reached critical levels, and I'm grateful to see that most of you are women. In other male-dominated panels, I've often faced eye-rolling and dismissiveness when addressing issues like this. This misogyny must be resolved for the betterment of our female-dominated profession. The working conditions at MCPS are not sustainable for our communities. Educators are overworked, underpaid, and facing increasing pressure to meet ever-changing student needs. Students are feeling the effects of this staffing crisis with larger class sizes and fewer resources available to support their education. Communities are doing their absolute best, but they cannot and should not do this alone. And right now, they are being forced to do exactly that. There are 562 current vacancies in MCPS, 147 vacancies in MCPD, 22 vacancies in the Sheriff's Office, 69 in the Emergency Response Center, 48 in the Department of Corrections, 29 in the Crisis Mobile Teams, 61 school nurse vacancies, and 38 health technician vacancies. How are we planning to recruit for these positions when people find out that we have refused to pass a revenue enhancement measure, and in turn, we did not honor the contracts we have with public sector unions, representing those of us who are still here? One of the main reasons for the staffing crisis is the lack of competitive wages. Many community members are leaving the county for better paying jobs in neighboring districts or in other fields altogether. This not only affects the quality of education that students receive, but also puts an additional burden on the remaining staff members. The reality is MCPS cannot start addressing the staffing crisis unless salaries are increased. The funds generated by a 10-cent revenue adjustment is the minimum investment required to start addressing this crisis. This would help MCPS to recruit and retain high-quality educators, which is essential to the success of our students. After all, that is the one thing we can absolutely agree on. The impact of the staffing crisis is felt by everyone in our community. The quality of education our students receive affects their future prospects and the economic prosperity of the entire region. A thriving public education system is essential for building a strong and healthy community. You all said you wanted to get away from the days of unanimous votes. Well, guess what? This is one time when reverting back is your best bet forward. I urge everyone to vote in favor of the 10-cent increase. We cannot afford to let the staffing crisis at MCPS continue any longer. We must invest in our communities to ensure that students have the best possible chance to succeed. Do your job so I can do mine. Do not let us down. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Next is Melanie Travers.
Good evening. My name is Melanie Travers, and I am a 23-year veteran educator with MCPS. I have served the students of our county as an early childhood and elementary teacher, an English language development teacher, and currently as a pupil personnel worker supporting 5 MCPS schools. More importantly, however, I am the proud parent of a 4th and 6th grader in MCPS. Today, I beseech you to approve the 10-cent revenue adjustment proposed by the county executive. Headlines across the country warn of the ever-worsening staffing crisis plaguing American schools, and MCPS is not immune to these issues. But what exactly does that look like in our schools? Well, last year, my son did not have a teacher assigned to his class until the day before school started. This created undue angst in a young boy returning to in-person learning for the first time since the start of the pandemic. This year, a middle school I support began the year with 3 unfilled special education positions. The legally mandated work of 3 people had to be shouldered by already overburdened teachers. Because of substitute shortages, front office staff send daily emails pleading with teachers to sacrifice their planning time to cover dozens of class periods, time that is meant to be used for planning rigorous, meaningful instruction for their students. Roughly 1/3 of school psychologist positions remain unfilled. Psychologists are forced to cover so many legally required special education assessment cases, leaving almost no time to adequately support the social and emotional needs of students. This in turn places increased burdens on the counseling staff, resulting in more time triaging crises and less time providing much needed proactive counseling support. Since 2020, over 2,000 teachers have left MCPS, and they aren't just resigning or retiring at the end of the school year. Only once in my 23 years with MCPS have I known a teacher to quit mid-year. It's an unspoken credo among educators. You always finish out the year with your students. But this year, I personally know multiple teachers who have resigned. One of my schools even had an administrator quit without notice in the middle of the school day. We must do a better job of recruiting, supporting, and retaining educators to work in MCPS. We currently have the 5th lowest starting salary for educators in Maryland, but by far the highest cost of living. The working conditions are deteriorating due in no small part to the added burdens placed on those who have stayed. We must retain the staff we have, and that will not happen if we refuse to even compete with other districts. Washington, D.C. recently raised wages by 12% over 4 years. Frederick County has increased starting salaries by 7.15%, and Prince George's County educators have seen a 6% cost of living increase. In real dollars, per pupil spending in MCPS is less now than it was in 2010. We need to show our commitment to the children of MCPS by investing the money needed to attract and retain high-quality educators. Let our legacy be that we were united for our kids and communities and future now, so that we can always be a model for public education in America. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Travers. Next is Paul Williams.
Thank you for having me. My name is Paul Bache Williams. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and psychotherapist in Montgomery County. I moved to Germantown, Maryland in 1989 to one of the most dysfunctional, low-income, limited resource communities in the county at that time. While living there, the idea of needing or providing mental health services was not heard of until the Resident Service Committee received funding from a grant. The grant's purpose was to develop economic and educational programs for those in need and those who did not have access to what was needed. Programs were created to effectively meet the needs of the community. Eventually, a variety of group and therapeutic services were implemented into our community. The community was hopeful and started to make significant strides. But unfortunately, funding was cut short, and the community that was once hopeful was once again devastated and left without necessary care. During the time, a white social worker encouraged me to go into the field because he felt I would be more effective than him and his colleagues with the proper education and training. His thoughts and beliefs were based on research because I am the community and I look like those in the community. The residents of the community were black. Him and his colleagues were not. Although the providers did the best they could and reached few, there was a glaring difference that caused a significant disconnect. The providers were attempting to serve a community they couldn't relate to. The black residents couldn't connect with the providers because of the same challenge. He challenged me, he encouraged me to help bridge the gap and provide my community with culturally competent, relatable, educational, high-quality mental health services. I promised him that day that I would. That's just what I did. I went away to get my education and came back in 2006 to the same county to make good on my promise. I served the county since then in the public and private sectors, and over the last year, I partnered with Black Physicians Healthcare Network, along with 20 other Black licensed mental health clinicians, to serve and provide over 6,500 at no cost to them mental health services, which include individual, family, couples, and group therapy. Co-pays were covered. We provide psychoeducation on the ground and in various communities at no cost. We minimize insurance barriers that are glaring. We decreased the stigma and effectively provided high quality, again, culturally connected and competent healthcare services by Black licensed clinicians. This program is the first of its kind, and Montgomery County should feel proud to back this program and its effectiveness. We don't want history to repeat itself, so we're asking that the Black Physicians Healthcare Network be fully funded, ensuring Black residents of Montgomery County and future residents are not left devastated once again. Thank you.
Thank you for your work and your testimony. Next is Denise Guattara.
Good evening, Council President Glass and members of the Council. My name is Denise Guitarra, and I'm the Maryland Conservation Advocate for Nature Forward. Nature Forward's mission is to inspire residents in the greater Washington, D.C. region to appreciate, understand, and protect their natural environment through outdoor experiences, education, and advocacy. And we thank the Council for the opportunity to provide testimony on FY24 operating budget. We have submitted our written comments, and I'll just highlight some of our areas that we support and we recommend from our written comments. For example, we support that the county executive's recommendation of allocating $271.6 million towards climate change in the operating and capital budget to meet the climate action plan goals. We also support increases in the Department of Environmental Protection, for example, in tree canopy fund, in the illicit discharge detection and elimination of pollution, increase in the Greenscapes program, and also additional funding for new positions in waterway pollutant reduction, improvements of water quality, water monitoring, forests, clean energy, electrification, and grants management. And we also support more funds going into the Climate Justice Academy. And we ask Council to fully approve and fund the Office of Racial Equity and Social Justice Program at $1.4 million. And in terms of electrification and clean energy, we also support more investments going into the BEPS program, the Electric Vehicle Management Program, and also into the Green Bank. In areas that we recommend the Council to take a closer look include stormwater management. For example, the water quality protection charge only meets the MS4 permits, but it doesn't go beyond the permits work, and it doesn't include the ever-growing cost for flood management, and which the flood management study will shortly be released and highlight those areas and the areas that we need to fund more of those programs. We also ask that the Council fully funds the Parks budget and request that $4.3 million are added back to their budget.
And in terms of recycling, that the Recycling and Resource Management Division gets more funds to add more inspectors for multifamily inspectors. On behalf of Nation Forward and our 28,000 members and supporters, we thank the council for taking our recommendations.
Thank you very much, Ms. Guevara. Next up is Mr. Woolery.
Okay. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Chuck Woolery, no relation to the game show host. I live in Rockville and I'm a Montgomery County weed warrior supervisor. I'm also a has-been. My expertise was on health threats like pandemics and bioterrorism and U.S. national security. In the mid-90s, I gave congressional testimony quoting many experts regarding these inevitable threats. Since then, I've given new words to the acronym NFL. Nobody freaking listens. Now I study cognitive issues. Why don't we listen? In the next few minutes, I'd like to share a few valuable concepts, hoping that the council will remember these in prioritizing adequate funding for the Parks Department, funding intentionally shortchanged in the budget request. Please remember there are three of the most complex systems in the known universe. The first is nature. 3 billion years of evolution got us humanity to this point. I'm also a former high school biology teacher. The second is the immune system of every surviving species today. The third is unique to humans. It's our mind and its ability to solve very complicated problems, engineering almost magical tools, and for both good and bad, our capacity to imagine anything, literally anything. One catastrophically flawed concept we've created that's sickening us, literally killing us, is we believe we're separate from nature. And from the testimony of others, it's clear we're all painfully aware of the mental, physical, and spiritual sicknesses that too many are suffering from and some even die from. We prioritize wealth, not nature's health, or even our own health, or how these are connected. Wisely, Mother Teresa and Albert Einstein both made health their highest priority. It should be obvious why. Who wouldn't want a healthy mind, body, spirit, family, community, environment, economy, and budgets reflect our priorities. Health has always been a significant word. Dr. Benjamin Rush, you might not know of him, but he's was a close friend of Thomas Jefferson, and also a signer of the Declaration of Independence, suggested Jefferson edit the last most popular phrase to the pursuit, instead of the pursuit of happiness, to the pursuit of health, NFL. COVID-19 exposed our flawed concepts and fragile systems, and it demonstrated that everything is connected to our health. Not coincidentally, last year, the director of CISA, which is the Cyber and Infrastructure Security Agency, it's our nation's newest federal bureau, the director said, everything's connected, everything is interdependent, and everything is vulnerable. We need a global approach, and I'm pretty confident that everything involves Montgomery County park budget. The health of our parks is directly linked in multiple ways to the health of our county's population. Those who work and volunteer in the parks and those who use them. If for no other reason, using them to disconnect from the insanity we humans have created with so many flawed, harmful, and unsustainable concepts that are failing us today.
Mr. Woolery, you want to wrap up?
Yeah, we should never forget that nature is our species' original foundational infrastructure, and adequate funding for our Parks Department should reflect this reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next is Becky Gia.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Becky Jia. I am the Administrative Director of World Shine Adult Medical Daycare Center in Germantown. We have been operating the center for over 9 years and have served about over 250 participants. We are proud to provide the unique, culturally appropriate adult medical daycare services for our Asian community in Montgomery County. As an adult medical daycare center, we play a vital role in providing the essential care and services to our aging population. However, we are currently facing the challenges with the high cost associated with the historic inflation and increased minimum wage, which will largely increase our operational cost. The county executive has recommended a budget with a 2% increase over the last year, and we strongly support that recommendation. We kindly ask the County Council to consider this as a high priority. Our commitment to our aging community is unwavering, and we urge the county to take the action to support our adult medical daycare providers. Thank you for your attention and support, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Michelle Joseph. Do we have Michelle Joseph? We do not have Michelle Joseph with us. The last speaker for the evening will be Erica Gardner.
Hello, my name is Erica Gardner, and I am a small business owner in Bethesda. I help my husband, Kevin Strumwasser, run Terrapin Bicycles, and we are also Montgomery County residents. We are opposed to the proposed budget cuts to the county parks. In 2019, we moved to Montgomery County just a few months before the pandemic hit. And during the pandemic, we spent most of our time off of the couch exploring the many amazing trails near our home. We got this great opportunity to explore Montgomery County at a time when we couldn't really do much but go outside. We realized there was a lack of bike shops that specialized in off-road bicycles and maintenance, thus our inspiration for opening our shop in Bethesda. We realized that mountain bikes saved our mental and physical health. As a small business owner in the recreation industry, we see the invaluable asset local parks and trails have on the community's health and well-being, not just our own. We receive daily inquiries from customers asking about places to ride their bikes away from cars. Not only does our community benefit from having outdoor spaces to enjoy quality time with friends and family, but also out-of-towners will call and ask our shop about places to ride. People are seeking places to go, and we are one of those places. Our parks are top-notch, and they have the potential to bring in tourism, thus growing our local economy. The infrastructure in Montgomery County is phenomenal, and there's so much more potential for growth and expanding our networks of trails. The more trails that connect, the more people will explore. Our shop caters to all trail users, from entry-level riders to those more experienced riders who end up being our biggest spenders. Our purchases give back to the county via taxes found in every purchase, from bikes, helmets, shoes, pedals, bike maintenance service. Mountain bikes range in price from entry level $500 up to $15,000, and I've seen those bikes roll out. The more that trails are maintained and built, the more people will continue to ride in the county and frequent our shop, thus keeping us in business. Revenue not only supports our small business, but also the community. It keeps big box stores out and passionate, knowledgeable people who actually care about the community employed. Although the monetary value from profits for our business is an asset for the county, the real value from our business is the ability to bring people from all over our community together. This is the biggest asset to the county. We see it every week when we attend group rides and events with the Mid-Atlantic off-road enthusiasts. So we are very much opposed to the budget cut. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gardner, and thank you to the 75 or so individuals who testified today, this afternoon, or this evening on this FY24 budget. We've had 2 public hearings. We will have 2 more on Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. So the conversation will continue. And with that, this public hearing is now closed and we are adjourned.